Hey there traders, this is Jeff coming at you with another video from the stockbandit.com. I hope your week is off to a good start. Now, as you know, there's always a good lesson out there that the market's trying to teach us as traders. So let's find one for today and do a little bit of learning. I know it's Monday, but let's jump right into it. And of course, since we're eyeing the charts and the technicals, this always applies across time frames. So whether you're a day trader or a swing trader, you're still going to benefit from this lesson. And even better, today's lesson includes some psychology as well, so let's get right to it. What did the market teach us today? Well, I've learned that there are three trade results that I tend to get right after my entries. The first one's the most fun. It's the trade that triggers an entry, takes off running in my direction, and keeps on going. Whether that's right through to my profit target or beyond, doesn't matter. The good trade, the first result I see, is the one that acts like I expected. The second type of trade is the least fun kind. It's the one that stops out. It's where you get triggered on an entry, the market pulls you in, then it turns around and smacks you, and you take your hit and you get out, but at least it's decisive. And so that's still better than this third kind, which is the one I would phrase the mediocre trade. It's the one that's the indecisive trade. The one where you enter a stock, it may start to show you a little something, and then it falls asleep at the wheel, and it yawns, and it tends to bore you out of the trade because you become impatient with it. And yet that's not always the best course of action. So let's look at today's example. This is EGLE, Eagle Bulk Shipping. And the technical setup which brought us this entry was the higher low on the daily chart, and then the light volume pullback that we saw, which was established just beneath this small descending trend line. Now, last week at the stockbandit.com in the member area, we bought this stock as it cleared this trend line at 2610. That implied this stock was again headed higher, back on the move. The problem was, as the stock started to evolve and the trade started to unfold, here's what we saw. And I'll step the chart forward so you can see the day by day what happened. Now, first day we got our trigger. There's a pretty good pop. Nice start to the trade, but volume was kind of quiet, so a little bit of a concern. The following day, stock finishes essentially where it closed on the breakout day. The next day, another very minor change. The following day, down slightly, but again, no overall progress since we really entered this trade. It's actually holding above the breakout level, but it's really not showing us any progress. This type of pattern, we would have expected to see some pretty good follow through after getting triggered on an entry like this, but this one simply sat there. It's boring. It's the kind of stock that oftentimes will leave you taking a very small gain or a small loss, just getting over anxious and wanting out of the trade to move on to something with a little bit more action, something a little bit more exciting. But a good trader's not in the market for excitement. A good trader's in the market for the money. And that means you've got to take some measures to make some money. And one of those ways that we do that is today's example. This is a trade that we call the mediocre breakout, the boring type of trade, and here's what you do. You raise your stop and you stay in the trade. You may be risking a smaller amount and maybe a portion of what you were originally going to risk, because then again, this is a trade that's not behaving like you would have expected, but then again, it hasn't stopped you yet. You have not stopped out of the position yet. So simply tightening up on your stop can really keep you in this trade and let you reduce your risk while you still stand to benefit from a favorable move if it does occur, because you never know what's going to happen. Maybe this stock comes alive or catches an upgrade or something. So on Monday we saw that strategy pay off, and I'll step this chart forward again. You see the stock popped nicely and got back on the move. It hit our very first target for almost a 6% gain, and we're still in a partial position looking for a larger move to come. But what we've done is turn a mediocre trade into a good trade because of this concept I'm discussing with you today. So today's lesson is, don't get bored out of what might become a good trade. Tighten up that stop if you feel the need. Put the stock in the trade on a very short leash where you're not giving it a lot of room to move against you in case you're wrong. But if the trade is attempting to work for you, try to give it some time and see what happens. You just might like the results. I'll see you soon. Trade well out there.